Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live, and we are looking at the one and only album from Beck, Bogert, and Appice, 1973 album. It's a one-and-done episode. The panel's here. Let's do it.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Remember all that?
People are just chatting in the chat. I'm putting things up on. We're just going like we're going, but we're not streaming.
I can't do it.
And everybody in the chat's just acting like
they said the guy said something about our wardrobe. Who was it that said something about our wardrobe or something? And I was like,
yeah, yeah. DC, you have to say that all over again now. Oh, for God's sakes, kids.
I can't do it as good the second time as I did the first time.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
I don't think we
guys.
have.
That's it. Sorry. No.
Really? We have to do this again?
Gotta do it
Do a truncated version, Logan. Do a truncated version.
I'll do it. All right.
It's a very unique, it's a very unique show. It makes it a very
So we're
unique show.
21 minutes in, and now we have to do it again. Oh my God.
Unfortunately, we had somebody tell us. We could have gone the whole hour. Could you imagine that?
All right. Well, we'll be very efficient.
That didn't report anything then?
But you missed Logan's spiel. It was good. Anyway,
Logan had a
welcome everybody. And we're 20 minutes late, even though we really weren't late, but buttons matter. Tonight, it's a one and done episode. Beck, Bogert, and Appice, 1973. One album. So the whole thing, this was a short-lived supergroup, power trio, formed in 1972. Had Jeff Beck, bassist Tim Bogert, and drummer Carmine Appice. Now, Carmine was in Vanilla Fudge and Cactus, and Tim too. You know what I'm saying. But, of course, Jeff Beck was in Jeff Beck Group. Anyway, so they come together, put out the one album. This is kind of heavy. It's kind of in that kind of thing, that framework of, let's say, Cream, but we're in 1972. So they put one album in 1973. I'm just going to throw it out to everybody and just go around and get your thoughts. Maybe we'll go backwards this time. So Logan can
Start with the elder.
We're going to start the elder and go to Sidney and then
all right.
Webb and then young Logan and then myself.
I'll do Logan's review again as him with his accent and everything.
Fine. Sorry, I don't know if I can I feel like I have to apologize, but I don't know why it didn't go. I've done these a million times. Damn it.
You said you were tired.
Yeah, but
Sorry, Grant.
I don't know what it did. All right. Let's throw it over to Jesus. Let's throw it over to the Elder of Rock. Elder, what is your thoughts on this record? Anything you would like to add? And what's your rating out of 10? And I do want to say before we go to the Elder is that we are going to turn this over to everybody in the chat that was just sitting there patiently waiting for 19 minutes, which I have to say, I'm impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Very
wow.
impressed. Hardcore. But we will want your rating at the end. So I will give you the indicator when that time is. So anyway, Elder, nice to see you. What is your thoughts on this record?
All right. Well, this is my first time hearing this record at all.
Oh, good. That's what I like.
And then listening to it, I listened to it 2 days ago because I found my notes saying I have this show, and I was like, oh, I haven't listened to this album yet. So,
I'm going to write that down. I'm going to remember what you just said, Elder. Not prepared.
Doc
no, but I listened to it a few times.
I'm joking with you.
And so, not being fans of really a big Jeff Beck fan or a Vanilla Fudge fan, but I did like Cream, so I kind of like this kind of music that's kind of blues based a little bit. But I was that's gonna be weird. I will agree though with what Logan said earlier and Webb said earlier about the opening track kind of being a little weird. I think that if they would have opened with Lady, that would have been maybe a much better opening track because that is the one that drew me in a bit. Now I can't go by these track by tracks. I don't have them memorized, but I will say that I do agree that this album does have it's good. It's really good, and it rocks. It's really good. It's very much like a Cream album. And I will say, but then like the stuff is kind of like that kind of soul, but it's I don't know, it's like slow gospel maybe kind of thing, bluesy, but so yeah, I don't care for that material. And their version of superstitious, whatever it is. I must say, like, I was in a band that we did this song. We did the Stevie Ray Vaughan version though. We did that one. But if I this version, I would have pushed for this version.
One?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
that one.
oh yeah, he does a good job. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But if I would have heard this version, I would have pushed for this version because I do like the way Carmine plays it. It's just really funky, and I like the way it kind of accents some of the other things on it that you don't hear in other versions. So, and then I will say also, you know, I was looking up information, and because since I don't have the album physically, that I was trying to, you know, who was singing on this, and I guess Carmine singing the bulk of it, I guess. And I am impressed by his vocals. I never knew he sang or anything. I didn't know if he sings in any other bands he's in, but I never knew he sang. So I will give him props for that. The drumming on here is very good. You always hear that Carmine say he was an influence on John Bonham, and it's very Bonham-like drumming on this, and the way the sound of the drums as well, the way they have that Bonham kind of sound and feel to them. So, and then I do like some of the interplay with Jeff Beck and Tim Bogert. I like some of that bass playing and that kind of interplay. That is really cool. But overall, though, yeah, like I said, there's peaks and valleys with this. And so I'm going to probably give this album overall a 6. And also, I want to say, Logan, on Beckology, because I was reading up on this, there is some stuff from this on Beckology on the next. That was going to be on the next album of this. So,
cool.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So far, we've got a 6 out of 10. I'm not having a very good feeling so far, but we'll see.
Great. You know
I'm
my
sure
rating
Sidney
already.
digs it. What?
You know my rating already.
Yeah, I have it.
You got to do it again, though. You got to do it
You're
again.
going to have to do it again. I'm giving you a little bit of a break. All right, cool. Let's throw it over to Sidney. Sidney, what's your thoughts on this record, and what is your rating out of 10?
Let's go with Logan's thoughts first. You know, Black Cat Moan. You know, it's got some great guitar, but Jeff shouldn't have sang.
Sid, come on.
I gotta leave.
I guess we don't need Logan on this show.
Getting close to bedtime, guys.
Close it is. Now it's even closer than it was before. Anyway, all right. Go ahead, Sidney.
Like Logan said, Black Cat Moan. It's like just a great heavy blues song, but Jeff.
Well, he hasn't said it yet.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
He hasn't said it
predicting
yet.
the future.
Didn't happen.
He just has the feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad everybody missed that. Logan had such a great breakdown too. Yeah, Black Cat Moan. Yeah, great bluesy, heavy rock song. Just his voice. He doesn't have the greatest voice, but someone else should have sang. Is this a trick review?
No, not trick review.
And then yeah, like you guys said, "Ladies" by far the best song on the album. Just a great rocker, and Carmine's going nuts on that. Just all those fills, and then even at the end, he goes off. Just yeah, no, she sent Logan that well, you missed this because it wasn't live. Logan was saying how I sent him the clip of Derringer playing with Bogert and Appice. I guess because Beck was no longer with them, but yeah, Derringer was playing "Lady" live with Bogert and Appice, and I just sent the video to Logan a couple days ago, and like the next day, find out Derringer passed away, so that was weird. Yeah, it's a great rock song. Easily the best one, and like Logan was saying earlier, kind of skip the ballads on here because they're not really.
Even though he didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep saying that.
I don't know why he keeps saying that.
I don't know. Must have been dreaming.
Yeah, the ballads on here. "Oh to Love You," "Sweet Sweet Surrender" has a good solo at the end. I feel like they should have put that in the middle of the song, not like the song just kind of drags on, and at the end, oh, okay, finally a guitar solo. But I don't know, kind of the ballads on here aren't that great. Yeah. "Why Should I Care?" See, I think that's a fun upbeat rock song with a good fun solo. Webb didn't like it as much, but no one knows that because Webb wasn't talking earlier.
Webb didn't say anything.
Webb didn't say
Said
anything.
nothing. Said nothing.
Oh, if it's not on camera, it would never happened. Oh. And then
So is that Ken? Oh, sorry. So Ken, you're giving this a 9,
wow,
a 9 plus, 9.5.
anything with Jeff Beck.
Damn.
All
Ken.
right, I'll give it a 9.5 for you. How's that?
Even that Ozzy song.
And Ken saw them live. We can assume.
Not the Aussie song, Webb. I mean, Elder. No.
That, yeah,
Oh,
that
oh,
wasn't very good. That
Lose Myself with You is like a great funky hard rocker. I like that song too. Living Alone's like a great boogie rocker. Like I like all the rock songs on here. It's just the ballads don't really go anywhere. Like I don't mind ballads if there's like changes and it builds and something, but it just kind of drags on. You're like, okay. So I guess I don't know. It's like there's 9 songs. I'm just using math, I guess. That's I like 6
9
out of
divided by-
like
go ahead.
6 out of 9 songs. Divide that at 6.6666. So I'll give it a 6.66. There we go.
All
I
right.
like that. I like that.
That's a pretty metal rating.
That's
All right,
the
I'll-
metal rating you could give it.
You gave it the Iron Maiden rating.
Yeah.
All right. I'll accept that. 6.66.
Basically an Iron Maiden
everybody.
6 points.
All right, cool. Let's
Rating
throw it
of the
over
beast.
to the number,
Rating of the beast.
the number of the beast.
The rating of
How nice. Anyway, Webb, what's your thoughts on this record?
Well,
And your
as
rating.
as I was not saying earlier, and it's already been said by Elder and Sid, Lady's the best song on the album. Black Cat Moon was not a good opener. I mean, the music's good, but shouldn't have had Beck singing. I still don't know how that happened, but it happened. And the same thing, peaks and valleys. There's 3 or 4 good rockers. The only kind of slower song I like is Sweet Sweet Surrender, and I agree with what Sid said about that's a cool solo. And they waited to the last 45 seconds of the song, right? And
put it in the middle of the
really
song and it's better, right? Like it's
yeah, and I mean, and it's a really cool solo, but I mean, it's Beck, so you know it's going to happen. And going back to Lady, what we've already talked about it. I mean, well, we kind of did all talk about it, but it's just so great. I mean, it definitely has that Cream vibe, and that's the song everybody knows, and I think that's what I wanted to hear. I think is kind of what all of us wanted to hear. I wanted to hear at least 2 or 3 more songs, or at least a few songs total. This sounded like that, with that fire, that passion, that energy. In Superstitious, they kind of have it. They're funking along, and yeah, it's a cool song, and that's Bogert singing Superstitious.
yeah.
So because Elder was talking about the vocal, Carmine sings most of them, but Bogert sings Superstitious, and they sing well together. I kind of thought they harmonized really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I mean,
I thought
yeah,
so too.
I was impressed with that. And you go through the rest of the album, and I keep waiting for another song that kind of has that Lady feel. Why Should I Care? Like Sid said, I mean, it rocks pretty well, but I was trying to be funny saying why should I care, but it's not funny anymore. And then I will just say that I wish I could have heard what was going to happen on the second album. They abandoned it, or Jeff Beck just walked away from it. We'll never know why. He took that to his grave, I guess. And the live stuff, the live footage shows you that these guys were a hell of an act, a hell of a live act, and they could bring it. And they just, for some reason, decided to do a kind of peaks and valleys record. And with that, I'm going to give it a 6.75.
Oh, you're higher than us.
Yeah, I'm doing the Price is Right on you. I'm doing
Nice.
the Price is Right.
I love it.
That's cheating.
All right, so we're gonna hear from young Logan now and get his thoughts on it. Thank you, Webb. By the way, everybody in the chat, if you know this record and you haven't given me your score, I'm gonna unleash. Go ahead and give me your score, and we will rank them all together. All right, young Logan, what's your thoughts on this record?
All right, so I'm gonna start a little different this time.
Yeah.
There's a quote from Don Nix from the magazine Zigzag. He said, "I don't know how I got this job, but I'd sure like to get out of it."
I think he brought the
So-
sack.
Oh,
of
I saw
weed. I'm
that,
telling
yes.
you, he brought the big sack.
Yeah, Webb, that probably would make sense. I mean, there's a lot of mellow stuff and pretty much what I said earlier before anybody was here. Well, everybody was here, but nobody heard me. You know, I'll just I don't know. I'll run down kind of what you guys said and what I said, or what did I say?
You didn't say anything.
Black Cat Bone. Yeah, Jeff Beck, stay away from the microphone. Good blues song, heavy riff. All right. Lady is my favorite, as it is everybody else's. I think. I don't know about Grant yet. Grant probably likes Sweet Surrender. So
I'm not going to go into it that deeply.
but just love the interplay between Bogert and Appice throughout this whole album. Beck playing all the crazy, guitar theatrics that he does, just works very nicely. And I love Carmine's little solo spot at the end. And their version of Superstition, like how the elder said, it's heavier and probably more rocking. It's different than Stevie's, but I mean, it's kind of like the other half of the songwriter who made that song. I always thought that was kind of an interesting contrast between Stevie Wonder's and Beck's version here. And I think DC said something in the chat a long time ago about it. They kind of stifled this version because Stevie's was already a hit, so this one wasn't ever going to do anything really. Even though they recorded it first, but the album was delayed. So Kiefer doesn't like Superstition. I'm not surprised. Why should I care? Another good bluesy kind of boogie rocker kind of thing Sidney was talking about. Reminds me of Cactus. I'll mention this again. Raymond Lewis Kennedy, who co-wrote a couple songs for the Babies, Every Time I Think of You and Isn't It Time, and a song for the Beach Boys, Sail on Sailor, wrote that song as well. And I can't remember. I was thinking maybe they were trying to get for Lady. There's a guy, P. French. He's credited. I think it's Pete French. He was in Atomic Rooster and Leafhound, the little obscurity band. I thought maybe they were gonna try to get him maybe to sing for this band, possibly. But yeah, the rest of the tracks, Living Alone and Lose Myself With You, they're just good hard rock songs. Yeah, I mean, there ain't much more to say. I think kind of what Webb was talking about, it kind of reminds me of Wes Bruce and Lang. It's kind of like that, It's got the same kind of vibe and feeling, and I think that one might rock a little bit harder than this one. And I mean, you got Jack Bruce and Leslie West there, who are obviously more competent singers than. But I agree with what you guys said about Carmine. I mean, he's a great singer too in his own right. So I mean, overall, I think it's just a little bit of a mixed bag with the ballads because I didn't even want to spend time on the ballads again. Just they're okay, I guess. I mean, it's nothing I'm gonna go back to. Kind of like what Webb was saying. I think there's good tracks overall. I really think like Lady and Superstition make the album worth listening to. I think it's worth checking out for sure, especially when you see the names listed and stuff. I mean, if you're a fan of any kind of hard rock from the 70s, you should definitely check this album out. But I gave it a solid 6.5 out of 10.
6.5. All right. Excellent. Thanks so much. Wait a minute. DC, you're giving actually musicianship, but I only like three songs, DC?
It's all
I have
valid.
to go with a 7.5. Okay.
What kind of math?
Let's see. Did everybody else give me your scores? I don't think a lot of people know this record because we didn't get a whole lot of ratings from everybody, but that's okay. That's fine. Oh, Cretin, ladies and gentlemen, David Cretin. He comes in with a 7.
Cretin's right on the money. He's always right on time.
We got Zappa. Zappa's coming in with a
Zappa's
7. Yeah, Frank Zappa's here. Okay.
Byron's taking another shot at us again. That's
all right.
Byron.
Jamie, we got a 7. 7's everybody's 7. BM Bolt, 7.5. All right.
Yeah, Byron too.
I understand DC. It's all right. Al's, did I already take that? Al's, I don't remember.
There's an 8 from Ernesto.
Well, I'll put Al in there. Ernesto got an okay, we got it, an 8.
His rating came in late.
That's all right.
It's supposed to be a joke there.
Well, hold on. Okay, so this is my thoughts. I'm going to give this a 7.5. I think this is a solid album. It's kind of raw, it's bluesy, hard rock. Don't forget that Jeff Beck's his guitar playing with whatever he's doing is absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
Tim Bogert is a phenomenal bass player.
Yep.
Thunderous, big, meaty. Carmine Appice, great drummer. I think they have good chemistry. I think when they are particularly heavy, that's when it works out well. I don't think that the studio production, it feels like when I listen to it, it seems like they're almost like held back. It's like the studio production cannot fully match what this band could deliver live. Like if you listen to those live tracks, vocals are okay. I mean, Bogert and Appice are okay. They're not great. Jeff Beck's vocals, well, do we have to talk about those? But I think the album's a little bit uneven as far as the quality of the tunage. I think Superstition's great, but it just seems like they're being held back. And I don't know why, but it's just like, it's almost like if you listen to like the Kiss albums prior to Alive, it almost seems like they're kind of held back until they get to Alive, and for some reason that worked. But they're right along. If you like Cream or Grand Funk Railroad, you will like this record. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have to go on the tracks. These gentlemen already went into the tracks. I think it's a decent record. It's not a classic by any means, but if you do like these musicians, you'll find something here. And like I said, I gave it a 7.5. So anybody else real quick, don't forget my 10 grand. George, I got that right on the onset. I've got you.
I just had a thought about the whole second, him abandoning this.
Go ahead.
That was in 74, right? I think, help me out with that. I think, and they were recording it or whatever, and then he just kind of vanished. Well, didn't he release Wired in 75? When
Wired was Blow by Blow.
Blow by Blow. Sorry, and then Wired. Right.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, maybe did he just have a change of heart that he wanted to do some jazz? I mean, because
he probably got bored with
it. Yeah. Walks away from a power trio with potential.
Right.
I don't know.
He probably got limited by this. Well, considering someone made the comment in the chat about, by decade, Jeff Beck kind of grew with the decade, but this is one of the few guitar players that I've said this before. Now, I think Eddie Van Halen was just dandy, but I can't tell any difference between Eddie Van Halen playing on the first album than on the last album. Once he had that down, he had it down. But Jeff Beck kept improving his technique. He was playing with the pick before, then he gave that up, and he grew. By the time he passed away, he was at his optimum peak, I think, as a player.
Good point.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, I don't want to have everybody burn a cross in my yard and shit for saying that about Eddie Van Halen. But he had one thing that he did really well, and he did it really well. But Jeff Beck, I think you could probably throw anything at him. But I do understand that Eddie Van Halen, really could duplicate Eric Clapton perfectly if he wanted, because that's what he used to do, all those cream licks in his bedroom. Yeah. But he evidently could play that note for note. I'd love to hear him just play like Clapton once. You know what I mean? Anyway, I was on a tangent.
Did Eddie Van Halen ever sit in with other bands? I mean, like...
Well, he did that Starfleet project with Brian May and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
Not really.
Not really.
Like when he was on Letterman or something, did he sit in with the
Well, it's the band.
No, he did, yeah. And he sat in with the Saturday Night Live band onance too.
But he just did the Eddie Van Halen thing.
Yeah, he started doing the, his thing.
Well, I'd like to hear him just not do that. If you listen to a lot of those old Van Halen, we are on a tangent, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You listen to like some of those old tapes you've heard him play like at a high school. He's not doing
Yeah.
any of that stuff. It's just totally different, you know?
Well, we're on tangents because really this show's only been going for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
we-
exactly why. Well, anyway, I guess I got everybody's. I got Jesus, Grant. Let's do a tally. I got everybody's score. Let's see where we're at. All right. Well, kind of what I expected.
So
We
7?
round up, we get a 7.6
Not bad.
if I round it up.
hmm.
Kind of more than I thought. I thought we had a lot less. I thought our tally'd be less, but maybe
Well,
not.
Ken White was 9.5, and
Yeah.
and
The chat, people in the chat really elevated it, I think.
Yeah,
They
I
liked
think
it more
so
than we
too.
did.
I 100% agree. Yeah, Beck was already monster player. 100%. You listen to a lot of those tracks. It's like someone dropped him out of space.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, those-
He was always good.
that was a great
Always
point
great.
you made, though, Grant, about him changing and progressing throughout his whole career.
Yeah,
That was very well put.
but it's so true.
And it's so true. Yes.
But he's got a certain trademark sound, much like Eddie Van Halen. Of course he does. But he was one of those few players that he just kept going, you know? God,
That's a
that-
that's a good comment. Do you see that from backstage?
no.
Back up there. Eddie Van Halen, I guess he's talking about. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
EBH.
I can't imagine him playing with Scandal, but okay.
Well, they asked her to be the lead singer.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
pretty-
So they're considering her. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Well, Beck is a master. And any guitar, any of these Jeff Beck albums where he's playing, it's just beautiful. He's just so talented.
Is it ironic that Beck's Bolero was written by Page?
Well,
Sorry.
they were buddies.
I know that's my closing. That's my closing statement.
I mean, they used to jam together at Page's house when they were kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
They asked Patty, she declined. Well, I don't know if that was a good move or bad move. Good to
Thank you,
see the
Ernesto.
elder on his show.
Ernesto.
It is nice
Ernesto.
to see the elder on his show, for goodness sakes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why should I care if you cut your hair?
What?
What is Kiefer talking about?
Isn't that a
I
line
never
from?
understand what he's talking about.
Isn't that the Who?
Is
It's
that a
not
lyric?
the David Crosby song.
I don't know. She was pregnant at the time. Cretin's always
How does
okay.
he know-
Cretin knows everything.
He's
I
a
mean,
stereo-
Cretin knows everything now. If you watch his posts on Facebook, if someone dies, he has his finger on the
God.
pulse of death. Maybe because he works in the funeral home or what? No, you work in the
funeral home, old
no,
folks.
it's basically wow.
moratorium.
What is the old folks home? Basically, he's like got his finger right on the pulse. He's just waiting for somebody. Oh, Rick
He's
Derringer
there.
died. Got to post it. I'm just saying.
But
I
you
just
love
noticed
it,
it.
though. But it's so good though.
That's right. 515 on Quadrophenia. The Who. Yes, 100%. Beck and Page played together in Yardbirds for about, yes. If you look at the film Blow Up, there's footage of them playing together in the movie.
That's cool. That's a cool. movie.
Assisted living facility. Okay. Not quite that stage.
What a nice guy. What a great guy. I mean, he does that job. Wow. That takes a hell
No
of a
one said that
person.
Cretin wasn't a giver.
He
you know.
gives and gives.
He gives and gives, and he just gives. That's all I can say.
The assisted living facility.
Assisted living facility. The new album by Assisted Living Facility.
Or Alf for short.
ALF.
Or Alf for short. Yeah.
We shouldn't laugh.
Well, you are a giver, Cretin. I
We
mean,
should not laugh at that.
and this is coming from a man who worked in the industry, and by the industry, I mean the business, who totally changed his career path and is helping people. You have to hand it to him. But if anyone's dying, he knows. Who's dying next, Cretin? Who do we have? Who's going to be posted tomorrow?
Play the death pool. Yeah, the death pool.
God, you'd
Deadpool,
want
yeah.
him. You'd want him to give you the insight on that. All right, wheelchair tour. Yeah, I can't talk. Say that real fast. Wheelchair. You can't say it.
Wheelchair
fast.
tour. Wheelchair tour.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Don't stop
The
it.
wheelchair tour.
One last thing about Patty Smythe and Van. Oh God. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Ken.
Yes.
What about it? When I think of Jeff Beck, I always think of the Wired cover. It's a great album. That's a great record.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we can
Wheelchair tour.
wrap this dog up. We've been talking for an hour.
Yeah.
We've
The
been talking.
brothers were chain
Just the show
smokers, and
hasn't
that
been
wasn't
going
their,
around.
her scene.
Yeah, that's right. What Cretan said. She couldn't stand how
Oh,
much they
yeah.
smoked.
Even I don't remember.
Damn.
Alex smoked too. I didn't know that. I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
seen him smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, there's a lot of pictures with Alex with the cigarette in his hand too. There's quite a few.
Well, we know Eddie
Oh.
did it one after another.
All
All
bass players.
bass players look like Tim Bogert.
Yeah, they do.
They
Yeah.
I mean,
do.
Grant looks like Tim Bogert.
Well, except for JPJ.
What are you talking about? Yes, they were both heavy smokers. All right.
Stop it.
Well, we
Sid.
know that Eddie was. All drummers look like Webb. Well,
I'm gonna
that's
twirl my
probably true.
stick.
Look at him twirl.
I'm a bass
All
player.
right,
I don't
everybody.
like
I don't have
Bogert.
anything more to add. We came up with a 7.6. I guess that sounds about right since I gave it a 7.5. I'm pretty happy with that. So I do want to thank the panel tonight, even though we had a trial run for half an hour. I want to thank Logan, Webb, the elder of rock, of course, Sidney, and well, I'm going to thank myself. Not really. That was a failure. Anyway, all bases look like Grant. 100%. Make people sick. All audience members look like Sidney.
Mm.
Jesus. So that's what everyone looks. I always wonder what Ken looked like.
Cretan. Look what Cretan posted.
Everyone in the chat. Yeah.
Oh,
Victor.
Victor
V
in
for
2
Victor.
weeks.
Uh-oh.
You mean
Yeah.
like Alex Lifeson, Victor? What are you talking
Yes.
about? What's in 2 weeks? Oh, Victor. Yeah, I know. I don't have my book in front of me.
I thought you were talking about the Deadpool. The guy named
I was
Victor was
talking
gonna die in
about
2
the
weeks.
Deadpool.
I was talking about a guy named Victor was dying in 2 weeks. I don't know.
I thought maybe that Alex Lifeson. It was a code word for Alex Lifeson in 2 weeks.
Mm.
Man,
Oh, that'll be-
nobody listened to the live LP for this show. No,
Oh, no, yeah.
for what do you mean? Great bunch of music lovers. Great job. Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
George.
All right. I'm going to shout out the Rick Derringer album, Free Ride, for all you jazz guitar lovers.
Cool, Ken.
I can't picture that album. Which
Oh.
one is that? No. Evidently, we're going to be back for Victor, evidently. I know what's on the calendar, but I can't remember what. All right, kids, I'm going to wrap this dog up. Life is too short. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for giving me the our rating, and we will see you on the next one. Keep it clean, everybody.